Hey guys, it's Pickles, back with another video, surprisingly. But before I get into the video, I understand some may view this opinion as controversial and somewhat hypocritical, and I fully understand that, but it's really what I believe and based on my own experience. So I encourage you to have an open mind, and you're obviously welcome to share what you think in the comments. So first off, I don't want people thinking that I'm making fun of anyone that's grinded in this game, because obviously people should be allowed to do whatever they want with their life, as long as they're happy and healthy, but I'm only going to be talking about a specific problem with nytro type that I think it should be considered if you disagree with my opinion, so let's just get into it. So as you probably read from the title, I don't think King of the Race achievements should be re-enabled, and I think it's a good thing that they were locked away forever, or at least kind of. Oh! So why do I think this? The first main reason: it encourages unhealthy amounts of grinding and gives players an incentive to sacrifice too much time into the game, especially to children. Now, this reason pretty much speaks for itself, but you can ask literally anybody with over 100,000 races if they've ever sacrificed sleep, eating, showering, plans, or any basic life activity to grind nytro type for a King of the Race car. And I guarantee they will tell you that they have done it at least a couple times. And if they don't, then they're lying. I've met countless people in this community that are or have been dedicated to the game and are motivated by King of the Race cars, and let me tell you, all of them have put off so many things in their life just to get in those few extra races for the day, just to get a little closer to that King of the Race car, which, in my opinion, should not be looked over or tolerated. And the King of the Race car system definitely is a main reason for this behavior, I think, which leads into my second reason. The King of the Race car system is an addiction machine.
Whoa, Pickles, that's a pretty bold claim.
Okay, I know, just hear me out. First of all, I'm not going to claim that nytro type itself is addicting, but I will argue that the King of the Race achievement section is. Let me break it down. This achievement section starts with the requirement of a pretty small number of races to earn a car, such as 500, 1,000, and even 5,000 if you want to be the coolest kid in your typing class. But as the race count gets higher and higher, the player is required to do 10,000 races for each car, and then 25,000, and even 50,000 races. Next thing you know, you've spent over 1,000 hours just going for a single car.
Okay, but what's wrong with that? Are you saying I have a problem? I love nytro type. You don't get to say what I do with my time, you stupid.
Dylan, calm down. I'm not saying there aren't people who actually enjoy reaching goals like this and actually manage their time in a healthy way. All I'm trying to point out is that the majority of people, mostly kids like myself at one point, just wanted that instant dopamine hit when unlocking the next King of the Race car, and in return sacrificed more time and sleep than they should have, with every race requirement increase for each achievement.
Well, can't they just stop racing?
Technically, yes, but let's be honest, the majority of people don't stop, and they end up going for the next King of the Race car despite the damage they've done to their health. And it turns into a chore, and it likely never changes. Now that's an addiction cycle if I've ever seen one. Also, keep in mind, the majority of these people are kids, who likely don't know how to manage their time and set certain goals and limits for how long they play daily.
Hang on, can't the same be said for other kids' games like Fortnite and Rocket League?
Well, not really. I have yet to see achievements in either game that requires thousands of hours of playtime, and if there is, it's likely a singular one-time achievement and not a cycle that the player can build up to that ramps up addiction, like the King of the Race cars. Now for my final reason. The King of the Race achievements are not suitable for a game like nytro type. And what do I mean by this? Well, let's take a look at what nytro type's goal for the game is. Interesting. If you somehow don't understand this by now, nytro type's goal has always been about improving typing skills in a fun way, and not encouraging any sort of grinding or unhealthy patterns. I'm not going to sit here and say that nytro type has always been mainly about education, because it hasn't due to the leaderboards and the Olympics and whatnot, but I seriously think that there has been a shift in priorities these past few years, and that the community really needs to understand that the game is not how it used to be. It seems like the admins are removing big community aspects like session achievements, seasons, and King of the Race cars to implement more kid-friendly and normal small event achievements that suit Chromebook school kids, which honestly is probably for the better. Look on the bright side, it's gotten rid of a lot of cheaters and set good boundaries for people before anyone else could get hurt. If I'm being honest, I have had good memories with the grinding for the King of the Race cars, but the negative impact it's had on the community outweighs the good in my opinion. at least for the people who are addicted to the system. And as for the people who actually enjoy grinding for the cars, first of all, I genuinely don't understand how you have the motivation to keep going even after they remove them. But you guys are the only people who I really feel bad for, since it's something that actually brings you joy. But if it causes the risk of kids being addicted to the system, I'm sorry, but the cons outweigh the pros in that sense, at least for me. So that pretty much sums up all of the reasons that King of the Race cars should never return. I'd honestly be surprised if anyone agrees with me, as I've said this opinion a couple times, and it was met with confusion, which was pretty much the motivation for this video. So please let me know. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this short spiel, and at least you got to think a little bit, because it's a pretty hot topic in the community. Oh yeah, and thanks to Type Cat and Dylan J for voicing some lines for the script. Their channels will be linked in the description. Feel free to unsubscribe if you hate me now, and that's all. Bye.